yo, yo. Give me a sec. Oh, okay. Duh.
Crossing the
A
void.
minute ago there was no. A minute ago there were no participants. Yeah, there's no admit button.
Not of our place or age. It is too easy to say that there is dark.
You're blank.
And there is light. It is too easy.
Let me try and
say that there are two sides to every coin.
You're in the waiting room, but there's no admittance.
Worse. For a law
What's up, Lando?
flirts with tyranny. Chaos invites freedom. Evil consumes all it knows. Good except suffering.
Yeah, I got no
And those in
admittance
the middle,
capability.
they are worse.
Yeah, that's it. Try
for
and
they know
relog that.
nothing but self.
LJ,
The Codex
what's up?
Infernum and the Codex Exaltum, 2 source books that bring in-depth knowledge about beings of all dispositions, from the farthest
What's
reaches
going
of the
on?
heavens to the darkest depths of wretchedness. Both of these titles come with new, full-color art, new creatures, new powers like possession, and a multitude of information providing lore, backgrounds, names, mechanics, stats, and much more. These incredible tomes are filled with demons and angels, devils and celestials, unleashing the powers of good and evil, law and chaos on your table. The Codices Infernum and Exaltum, bringing creatures hallowed and profane into your adventures. Pledge
There we
to
go.
share today.
Awesome.
That was weird. That was weird.
Oh, it happened before. No problem.
Yeah, I don't think I set the giveaway up, guys. Give me a second here. And I didn't pre-check shoutouts, which is dumb. But this one should work because it's not there. That works. But me shouting out that it's going on is not possible right now. Weird. Strange. I hate that. Let me see. No, it's showing a check mark, but the shoutouts aren't working. Well, you're all going in. That's good. You see that, so. I turn CloudBot on and off. Sometimes that works. Gotcha, Kai. Gotcha, JR. I'm still looking for Mike. Hey, Stronghold, what's going on? Shoutouts are not working still. Nope. I get a check mark on my stream deck, but I don't get that they are going. So that sucks. New heraldry logo. It could be wonky, Sparky on your end. I just don't know. At the time, I just don't know with everything. 44. Setting it and reloading it, it'll log it in and out, logged out, back in. It's just bizarre. Because we're getting the what do you call it? Giveaway thing is coming up. They should tell. So that's good, but no shoutouts. No, I'll check and try it a little bit later. La la la. Alright. One more thing. I'll try one more thing. If I don't crash the whole stream. We're gonna start working. Be alright without it. Just can't shout all the great streamers on. See, my stream deck's working because it's changing scenes and all. That's working. 44, I know. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Wait a minute. You did. So, LJ, that's working. The manual works. It's me hitting my stream deck. The stream deck is not communicating with... That's what's not working. So if I go here and I hit Like, if I try and shout you out. Anyway,
Hello.
I get nothing. So it's not working on mine. So shout out Stronghold D&D. Scroll up. Shout out yourself. Nerdy Guide. Yeah. Who've been on so far? And Coco. They're the 3. You've done it. So appreciate it. Awesome. Yeah, I did. You gotta make sure it's the correct one. I don't think I have the whole thing in like that. I think I have it in Nerdy Guide. That's the problem. That's the problem. We're alright. Let it all out. I can just shout. Yes. What's going on, Mike? Is your team going to make the playoffs?
Yep. We got a lot of the tiebreakers.
You got to win the
So-
last 2 games, right?
I don't know about that.
Wow.
Just gotta hope all the teams behind them don't win 2 games, right?
True. Alrighty. Here we coming live. Live. Awesome. All right. Special Tuesday night. Legends and Lore.
Woohoo!
Good evening, everyone. There's the laser's on. 45 months. Oh my gosh. What's up, Curtis? Hopefully everyone's doing well and had a very merry Christmas. I had a nice time with my son, family. It was nice. It was really nice. Hopefully you guys all both had the same.
Yep.
And as we move in here to next to last stream of the year. So I got one more on Thursday for the year. And that will finish up 2023. At least I have the banners. I can rely on the banners to show what's coming up for next year. So, and they're also scrolling through. They're going to be scrolling through here. I know they're in there. So, we're close. Should we get a hype train going here? I'll hit a button here, maybe, or someone will hit a button. There, we hyped it. Boom, boom, boom. Good. All right. So, giveaways tonight: Classic D&D reprints. But if you don't have this, one of them is a must. If you do not have this, you want this, and that's I got more Raven's Rook books in from Will, right? Which is Rook Roost, which is awesome. So I have them. So that is a must. So my wife gave me the 1991, 1980. Oh wow, full sets, Michael. That's awesome. She got a hold of them. That's so great. Great to hear.
Wow.
That's great. Fantastic. Very cool. All right. So if you're new to Greyhawk, or fairly new to Greyhawk, one of the coolest places in all of Greyhawk is where we're going to be talking about tonight, the Wild Coast. Now, I've done a couple discussions on Gabbins on Wild Coast, but we've never really touched it on Legends and Lore. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because I just use it in my campaign so much. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Just an oversight?
I think it's interesting because it's a place that is central to the published setting because there's so much material published of it. But when it comes to the importance of in the setting, it's one of these leftover areas that hasn't really belonged to anything any time. So it has an interesting dichotomy in that sense. It's very important to all the published lore, but it's not been conquered or ruled or run by anything except now orcs, so to speak, and half orcs.
Well, depending on your campaign timeline,
yeah.
There's a lot of variances here as well.
So it's kind of interesting. It's overlooked in some sense and really used in a lot of other senses.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Mike? Your thoughts, initial?
My thought is that this area has a lot of material written for it, and more than I've probably utilized. I'm probably regretting not running more stuff here. I know you run a lot of stuff on
Lots of stuff. So, I love this area. In fact, let's go to our special map here. Wrong button. There's Tim. Wrong buttoned it already. Oh my gosh! First wrong. I can't say first of. It's the first wrong button with the new 44 logo, right? Which I always jump in a week early on the 44. So woohoo! Yeah. So here, if you want to know where the Wild Coast is, here's Altamira, right? Here's Saline. All right, and here's Greyhawk City
Yeah.
and Hardby.
So what are
And here's the
what
Wild
is
Coast.
considered Wild Coast or not?
So I consider the Wild Coast to be most of the forests and the land surrounding
Yeah.
this down. Here's the argument. I say Port's the southernmost tip of the Wild Coast, and this goes before From the Ashes and all. That's where we had a lot of people consider Port the northernmost tip of the Pomage. Okay, either or, right?
Mhm.
So you can look at it either way.
Yeah.
Running, I consider most of this as forest part of the Wild Coast. Elred, Badwall, Fax. Safeton, all the way up Narwhal. All the way up to Harby and all the way up to where the river here cuts through. The bizarre river where we have fords that shouldn't exist that do. We can talk about that and then because there's a lot of good stuff in this. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's not a country. It has a bit fuzzy. It's like Europe or something. You don't know where it ends in the east. So it's more like a geographical or kind of a region you talk about, not a political entity. So it doesn't have any firm borders and stuff. But from the 83 box set, it says that parts of the gnarly forest, all of the Welkwood east of the Jewel River, and the Sus Forest are considered being in this region. I think that's the only real definition of it that we have written down, so to speak. But so I think you're very close to where I think would be considering what would be Wild Coast as well. From I would say up Norwell, up from Norwell, Safeton, all the way down to the Pomage and east of the Jewel River, kind of.
One way you could put it, though, is Highport was a well-civilized area. Hardby is a well-civilized area, and everything in between is the Wild Coast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count then the Gnarly, which is all north of Narwhal, too.
Yeah. I don't really consider Gnarly part of the Wild Coast, but that's just me.
I do 100% because of this. Because of Blackthorn.
Oh, okay. For me, it's the lack of the coast part, so to speak.
Yeah, but the Welkwood, the Sus, really.
But they're closer to. But yeah, that's just me. I completely admit that it's just me because there is no official definition. So and thematically, it's the whole area, so to speak. So I think your definition is probably the one that is very kind of common among Greyhawk gamers.
So Sam, I'll say that Harby's not part of the Wild Coast. It's on the wrong side. If it was on the other side, I'd say yes. Because of where it is, I don't think it's part of the Wild Coast. Thank you for the hype train, everyone.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of on the west side there. So
I agree that and I think because of the size of the city and its relation to Greyhawk, that the answer to that is no. Now, I think, Highport, which I used well before, the A series was out, right? And they had adventures, there was stuff going on in Highport, but not as anywhere near in depth when the Slavers came out in second edition. We were using Highport well before that. And here the legendary Lord Page Estate's right near there. So I've been using it forever.
I'm not looking at Anna's map, but are there many things between Highport and what's down there? Fax?
Yeah, depending on what you consider many, but there are quite a bit of stuff, so to speak. So for me, it's a target-rich environment because there's been so much lore written about the area that there are a fair bit of stuff in there. So
then, Elred is the furthest south then.
Oh yeah, Elred and Fax and Badwall and those are prime in the middle of the Wild Coast.
That between Elred and Highport, is there anything like connective tissue for this Wild Coast?
And only mentioned are the rotting kraken of the hobgoblins, the bleeding moon gnolls, the meat eater hobgoblins, the Sus Road, and the Sus Forest. That's it.
Yeah,
that I've been able to find. Yeah,
it's
But we will probably get a couple of more stuff coming up in chat this stream, I hope. Yeah.
Just note, so I've said this 100 times. When I was a kid, we had two places our players came from. First off, we barely played the small folk, but there were some. Humans all came from the Wild Coast because it was like, oh, cool. We come from an area that's like not barbaric wild, but there's no like countries or whatever. It's all little mini city states, and
Yeah.
the elves and elven and half elven characters came from Selene. That's just the way it always was. So I love
Yeah.
this area from day one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think Sam has an interesting point here. For real heresy, I would even say that the Wild Coast includes the entire Salintan Plain and Greyhawk.
Yeah.
I would say that in my view, that will be heresy, but I think it's a really good point because I love to take the in-setting perspective. And for me, I would say that the term Wild Coast probably came from someone in Grey Kingdom that say, oh, that's place we haven't conquered. It's out there in the wild, and there's a lot of people who live there who are not our subjects yet, so to speak. So that's why it was considered wild, because it wasn't run by them. And since Greyhawk and the Greyhawk Plain was run by them, I wouldn't have it as part of the Wild Coast. But I like the terms to come from in setting, so to speak. That it's something that so I have it that the Wild Coast, the term Wild Coast was simply the Airdi that conquered from the east, and when they formed the empire, then the Wild Coast happened to be outside of it, and that's why it was a lot of people they didn't like it.
Part of the Airdi Empire?
Oh yes, yeah, it was part of the Great Kingdom. So that when they conquered it, that's when they declared year one and all that, so to speak. So and then it became a free city later. So that's why I have it that's in my campaign. That's where the term the Wild Coast come from. It's like the people that we haven't conquered. So we call them wild out there because they don't follow our rules and they don't obey our laws and stuff like that. So
Gary once said to me that this is the area where the Keeland, the Kingdom of Keeland and the Great Kingdom both did not have sway over, and that was
exactly. Yeah. It was the leftover. It was exactly. It was not conquered by the Great Kingdom, and it was not fully conquered by the elves or by the Keoish Empire either. So it's kind of one of these areas that's been left over until the Turushmak and the Pomarsh Orcish Empire, or the Pomarsh seems to be the one that is most successfully conquered, at least conquered more of it than any other, so to speak. The Keoish are probably the second best, or they conquered the second most of it, so to speak. They built the empire a bit.
According to Greyhawk Wars, North Wild Coast, South Wild Coast, there's a strip of Sus Forest there until you get to Highport. So there you go. That's canon.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. It's canon. Wonderful. Thank you, Mike. Yep. Yeah, that's awesome, Mike. Yep.
So tonight we're going to talk about some specifics in the area, some fun things to do, and some I guess you could call Rob Kuntz's stuff fanon, but I use it as
Well, it's one of these. They're so interesting because when you have stuff that is written by the original author but not published by Wizard of the Coast, it becomes a kind of a gray zone. It's like the Gord novels that were not published by TSR but written by Gary. Right. That they fall into that category of kind of published lore but not officially published lore. So I have them almost like a category of themselves above fanon. Yeah, in a way.
Very interesting. It is. It's it's all something that.
Yeah, Sam, I agree with you that. Yeah. Well, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say it's all something we can truly discuss, and and I'm still it drives me crazy. I do all my checks, but I did not check my stupid Stream Deck. Why isn't it working? Why with that? Oh well. So
it's a pre-stream checklist.
Yeah, so, pre-stream checklist. So that's out. Yep. All right. So I guess we should just start. I know. It bothers me. Non-perfection drives me crazy. Must be hitting wrong buttons. So where to start? So
should we do it north to south, or should
we
I
say
all over the place?
Yeah, I say we pick key places. I have so much in my folder.
Yeah,
so much stuff in my folder here.
Pick one, and we go from there.
Let's just start where my campaign is going. Why don't we do that? Okay, we'll start there. So where my 44-year everyone campaign is going now. Here's Narwhal, right, with the headhunters. This is from the ashes. Cut, with stuff, cuts in here. Here's the headhunters headquarters. These maps are but they exist, right? There's a lot written about it. If you are a third edition purist like Dale, and everyone knows in Living Greyhawk, they burned everything down. So
They changed a lot of things in
yeah,
Living Greyhawk.
they
So
did.
yeah,
Not here. But I love this place. I even have it on my map, on my
yeah,
table, done with the Headhunters headquarters and all the locations.
yeah.
That's always fun when I can fit a little sliver of a city on the table.
Yeah.
I love
My
the. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say a quick say that in my opinion, Living Greyhawk content should be seen as optional,
I agree.
so to speak, because it changed a lot of stuff. You should definitely consider it, read it,
Did
consider
Living
it.
Greyhawk blow up the Wild Coast? I thought From the Ashes did.
No.
changed
Living
a lot of
Greyhawk
things.
burned it to the ground.
Yeah,
Tershmak burned Narwhal to the ground. So.
Oh
Yeah.
this narwhal you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 Well,
And remember, you can always spare it in your home campaign. If you love
Now,
something, then keep it.
but wait
Yeah.
a sec. So maybe I'm missing something here because I don't know much about narwhal. I only what I read today.
Cool.
But narwhal is like that's farther north than Safeton. What happened to Safeton?
Safeton was on the borderline.
Safeton to get to
Maybe they
narwhal?
went around it.
It's Living Greyhawk.
Went around.
Mike.
Yeah, things happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Safeton was this where the border seems to have held. So
Also,
to speak. They had
Wyvernon with
grim-
100 stinking people in it, and a dwarven priest of Hexter and evil gnomes is still here.
They bribed the Turishmak and his forces.
around.
That you see, they bribed them. Yep.
Yeah. So without hard cannon, I think a compromise like that is better. There's a lot of things you got to compromise with. My suggestion is take what, and I've said this to all the new people. Take what you want to be the Wild Coast, to be what you're using your campaign at whatever time frame, and use
pick.
it.
Yep.
And
Cherry
use it.
pick. Yep.
Anyhow, before you get back to Norwell, I dug up my old From the Ashes
Yes.
map
Mhm.
with this neat little section on the Wild Coast here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really unfold the whole thing because it's like
Yeah.
it's really fragile. It's held together with tape. So at one time maybe I did use this a lot, but I was struck by how there's like a north Wild Coast, and I thought it was just north and south, but no, there's like north and there's a buffer zone.
That's all From the Ashes.
Yeah, From the Ashes era.
Yeah, the buffer zone and all that,
Yep.
and like here, and it tends to be this line right here on Anna's. Well, oh my God, I did it again because they're backwards. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm glad you caught it too. Yeah, so right here, this is the line right here. That line tends to be the with the buffer zone.
Yeah.
Well, it's a river there, so it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense that it's easier to defend. So they end up. But I remember reading that the Safeton had that grim kind of. They thought the invasion would come, and they chained some prisoners to scream for help and stuff like that. So it was a grim frontier, so to speak, during Tourismuk.
Thank you. But what's cool about a lot of this stuff is there's a ton of little things, especially in From the Ashes. It is loaded, absolutely loaded here with Greyhawk goodness in this area, and stuff that you will realize in here, stuff that I have used. In fact, one I just used last Thursday night that's in this book. And you got the Cairn Hills, you got Florin Fauna Militia. Here we go. Keep on going. I should have had it. Oh no, the good Doom Grinder.
Yep. Oh, that was the good one.
That was a good Doom Grinder, not the bad Doom Grinder.
Yeah, the one before they wrote the module.
All right, so we're in this area here, and there's some good stuff in the Greyhawk box set too. So you start with information on the gnarly, and then you work your way down, and you get into and see, because there's stuff that should be in the Wailing Halls here, which we'll talk about, that should not be in the right on the edge of the gnarly. But like here, I want to show you this. So as an idea here. Right here, if you watched the last two Thursdays, an albino Sulweeze man, naked and tattooed, with signs in the roll, was found dead 3 miles east of Tricaster. I use that. I use that just to get. That's how I got into, and they all went up to TriCaster because they heard this rumor about all these in a roll. I used more than one, right from this book right here on Tales and Whispers. There you go. I pulled it right from that for my adventure for the Blood Moon Festival part for Narwhal. So, but there's some great Tales and Whispers in these books. Here we go. Wild Coast. So, when you come down here, you got Safeton. We'll talk about that Narwhal. And then some other
the Twin Cities.
Excuse me, Twin Cities.
I saw them referred to as Twin Cities.
Yeah, and I think that's because they look the same on the map. One's got ports and one doesn't. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
I think they're Twin Cities because the artist did this together. Yeah. So would that have been part of the Wild Coast before the settlement of the lands by Kiowish and the founding of High Port? Oh my gosh, yes. Hot take. Vecna doesn't appear in a Greyhawk because he was a Bloom creation, not a Gygax one. That's a good point, Mike. Michael Zudrak with a point here. So, Safeton, depending on your time frame, right on the border, it has Turin Deathstalker protecting it, right? A legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The grandfather of assassins. Now, whether he's an assassin or a fighter or a dual-class fighter assassin, your game weight can be whatever, but he's a badass.
Again, it depends on what edition you're running, if you have assassins or what kind of class structure you have, so to speak.
And he's from the Shield Lands, and he hates humanoids because humanoids tortured him when he was a kid. So he is pissed off, and that's probably one of the reasons why.
He's like an evil guy in the service of good.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I would define him as an evil guy in the service of good.
Okay.
Yeah, meaning he wants the good to win, but his own personal morals are definitely evil. He's willing to do whatever it takes.
Gary, but Minneapolis and St. Paul are like next to each other. These aren't even close to each other. I decided to. So Safeton survives all that time. There's Narwhal, and then there's all these little places. Let's go ahead.
But I love these places because they could be that kind of gritty fantasy where you can have good guys, bad guys, and everything in between, so to speak. They can be great places full of thieves and whatever, and some heroes. They're not thoroughly evil, but they can be as gritty as needed, so to speak. Those are that kind of harsh, brutal fantasy settlement, so to speak, that we see in movies and stories and stuff. I think both the Narwhal and Safeton and stuff, they fill that niche really well.
So let's just go to a couple of these and talk about them. How about that? We pick some and we talk about some areas that we really like. I think that would be to flow through it. So I want to start here, and that is the Wailing Halls, right? It's not far from Narwhal, and it's got a really funny story. Well, I don't know if funny is the right word.
But interesting.
Interesting is more the right word here. So
useful for your campaign story.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be right here. Come on, Wailing Halls. So here it goes. This fortified castle is home of the human mage Belzane, originally of Almor, who is said to have slain her apprentices and fellow adventurers, known to include at least two very powerful fighters, when her mind was possessed by a fiend she had conjured to interrogate about events in Roxas. Rule number 1, just don't conjure demons or devil. Don't do it. Right?
Yeah, that story was
from the ashes, Armin.
Yeah, so, yeah. That backstory was the seed for my interaction with this area, Wailing Halls and Mustrin. Yeah, and that led me to say that, okay, what if both Belzane and Mustrin came from Rossi's and had something to do with the fall of the Great Kingdom and all of that, so to speak. So I took that seed and say, okay, now she was investigating something and she was trying to chase it down, and what she investigated became too much for her, so to speak. So she succumbed to it, and what she was investigating was Lord Mistrine. She didn't realize how close she was to the truth, and that kind of overwhelmed her, and she was basically she succumbed, and she became a victim of her own success in that sense. That was I took the seed of that story and ran with it. And so
we'll talk about Mistrine too.
Yeah, but I tied the two together.
You did, which is cool.
Yeah, and weaved the story surrounding it. Yeah.
So if you look here, I want to read this one line here. She's wandering the halls insane, but
Yep.
having animated the remains of her former associates in powerful forms,
Mhm.
treat at least one member of the entourage as a death knight.
Yeah. And I said that it was Asmodeus himself, that he a devil that simply broke her down, and because she was too successful. So, but they didn't want to upset the elves and anything like that. So it has to be subtle, and she was still useful. So even after she gone insane, so they treated her that way to make sure she could carry on and be useful and scare everybody away from the place. So Mistrian could hide his treasure in that place instead of having them at home. Instead, yeah, because if someone came and raided his castle, he needed a backup place for some of the treasure to be hidden. So that's why they kept her as a crazy on top of the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I believe, which is okay, different of opinion.
Oh yeah,
No
meaning
one in
that
the
was
right
just
mind.
me running one rabbit hole. So you can that was just me interpreting two paragraphs or a paragraph and made it into my twisted reality, so to speak.
So we're here. We're in the Wild Coast. We're right here, and Mastrine. Mike, do you know how badass this guy is? He's like super badass.
I seem to recall using Mastrine maybe once. Yeah, the black armor.
Yes, and the symbols.
Yeah,
He's badass.
He has his own heraldry from the
yes,
ashes,
he does.
So he's important.
The bloodletting heraldry. That's how I interpret that heraldry. Yeah.
So Maestrian is discussed as a formidable castle Maestrian, 4-towered stone castle, 15th level, neutral evil fighter, 50 men at arms, an unknown number of spellcasters. He gives allegiance to no one, and patrolling militias do not approach this gloomy place. Maestrian is known, however, to have a powerful hatred of humanoids, so he has some things in common with Turin Deathstalker. They're all clad in black plate mail and have been seen making forays in the buffer zone. Give or take whatever you have on the buffer zone. On one occasion, multiple flame strikes were seen to Besses, which means he's got 9th level priests running around too with flame strikes. So Maestrian lays claim lands in a 15-mile radius east of the Jewel River. No one disputes the claim. So Anna's got him as a fugitive from the Great Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay. He's the one that was the treasure master of the Knight Protectors, and he's a Hextorian, not personally, but because he doesn't care. His mission was to protect some of the really important treasures and possessions of the Great Kingdom, and when it fell apart, it was his orders, and he carries out. And he's one of these completely. It's the mission, and he doesn't care who needs to be killed or tortured or whatever in order to fulfill that mission. But he has some Hextorian clerics and stuff with him as backup, so to speak. They're part of his team. That's why. So he has plenty of firepower and stuff there and they're in the mission, and they have kind of help from the 9 hells behind them. So but they try to keep a low profile. Yeah.
Why then is he not allied with Wyvernon?
He wants to keep a low profile. Not more attention than needed. He wants to stay there and until he can build a better base for it. So yeah, he's probably doing that. Yeah. So
here's what's going on in mine. There's a 3-way. This area here, all right, and this area from Eyebite up is all you got. Remember, we haven't even talked about the Pasquarel Cockatrice Riders. I have all 3 of these: the Narwhal Headhunters, Maestrine's forces. And I have a Maestrine from the Great Kingdom. I have it from an unknown place. One of those badasses who you don't know why he showed up or where. I mean, raised up to, probably slayed some dragons and has all this power and all this money and has found has dug out his own place. But I do have. He is known to have what's called Maestrine's daughters. At least 3 of them are known.
I'm going to incorporate that idea because that's such a cool idea that I'm going to add that to my campaign.
Well, I appreciate that, Anna.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
They're all anti-paladins. But they're all, of course, very attractive and beautiful.
Oh, I like that idea. So that I'm going to incorporate that wholesale, so to speak.
I love anti-paladins. They can be so charming. So, so with that, I've had there's a truce going on right now because of what happened at there's an inn out in the middle here, which is like a neutral place, and it got it wasn't the Maestrine group, but it got overrun, and actually that Narwhal Headhunters helped one of the Maestrine guys who was just staying there and thought he was going to die. I named her after a basketball player. I apologize. His name was Doncic, and yes, and so they have a little deal with him. So they actually got a get out of jail free coin with him if they
Yeah.
ever run across him again. So it's an uneasy truce going on now in that area. Rob is developing it for the world. So lots of cool stuff you can do. And let's talk about, as we're talking about Lestrine. I love this. Is one of my favorites actually. They're right
the
on this
Pasqua, the
borderline.
cockatrice riders. Yeah.
They are awesome. Mike,
Yep.
did you read up on these guys? These guys are awesome, man.
Yeah, I do recall using those guys before.
I never really used them, but I think they're really cool.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I think this is so this is like great. Oh man, where is it? Did they move it down, or is it in like the Welkwood? I hate when they do this and stuff's all over the place. Wild Plains,
Yeah,
White,
it's kind of
Zoolern, Buffer Zone, Castle Sulafrate. It should be right. It should be right here.
I must have done a short-lived
there it is.
Wild Coast game because on my map I actually have written in pencil on the map something about Stalkara.
Yeah, Stalkara Estates. Yeah, Stalkara's right there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a second. We'll go right back to that after this. So Pasquale is a village of humanoids allied with bandits, which is cool, and lies within the upper Walkwood where there is no clear control of territory. So here's the Night of Terror. So the Night of Terror here, which we talk about, is a purging night of humanoids all throughout the lands. All right, 20% were slain. Were not slain since they were deemed thoroughly reliable. And then. So, Pascal is home to the Cockatrice Lighters led by Halkadon, 9th level fighter with a flame tongue. They ride light war horses, wear black masks. Hopefully, they're not too tight around their face. You know what I'm saying? Or and a single cockatrice feather pinned to the brow of their wide brimmed hat. So they are not riding cockatrices, everyone.
No, cockatrices, they're not that big, so you can't. They're like turkey size, I think. So
plus, it would be bad news if you touched if one accidentally touched you somehow.
Pixies riding cockatrices sounds like an interesting proposition, though. Yeah.
Quick question, Jay, is do you use the Jebly Free State? No, I do not use the Jebly Free State at all. I like my Wild Coast Wild, and I don't think Terrashmox come. I don't like it. I can't.
Are the Jeblies from the Wild Coast? I have them up from Usean lands up there. So yeah, that's interesting.
I like my Wild Coast.
But I haven't used them that much. So yeah.
Was Morningkin and born on the Wild Coast? I don't know about that, Gary. Maybe. So that's the three factions that are going at it in my game here, right? So let's go back up to Stalkara, which is right here too. Another good one, Mike. Here is Stalkara Estates. So let me show you the map here. There's so much like right there, and Castle Sulafrate's here too. We'll talk about that too. Yeah. All right, Mike. This is a good one. So you use this.
Apparently.
A tract of land some 30 miles has its border 12 miles east of Castle Sulafrate. Owned by the Stalkara family, has been home to raiding bandits for generations. This base being well defended by ditches and disguised pits dug around a fortified manor house. Okay. Do you know what this reminds me of? This place? Apocalypse Now. In the middle of all that, the French family just in the middle of nowhere, right off the river, and they're all there and they're eating dinner like it's normal, and they got all the, and there's war going on all around them. That's kind of what this place reminds me of a little bit, just like, oh, we're going about our lives. So the Redux, yep. So, so they are, determined to stick with their way of life, riding out on horseback and looting whatever they can get. So, yeah, they're just there. An estate of bandits, which I thought was cool. I think that's a cool idea. I said Sargent was on his game when he wrote all this area. Really, some great stuff.
What the Wild Coast, at least the northern parts, reminds me of is that when your character gets name level, you're supposed to get yourself a tower or a keep or something.
Yes.
Great point.
Land. And like, this is a bunch of like places where adventurers probably retired down.
Well, you go out there and carve out an area and claim it and build.
And like this map is 6 mile hexes.
Yeah.
You start a whole campaign here and give everyone your player characters a their own little town and village. And then just deal with the politics of the area. It's dense.
And there's so much land there that is
Yeah.
Oh, right. Meaning
Yeah.
you can put way more stuff there, so to speak.
Way.
It's yeah.
And what's cool about all this is that you don't even realize how, as Mike said, how big the area is here, that you can fit whatever you want in here and it won't make a
Yeah.
difference. I'm throwing in frickin' stuff from Comrade Lorraine. That's N1, and New Briar. This is
Yeah,
U1.
that's Orlane that you
Yeah,
renamed.
and Comrade, that's U2 from Controller Game stuff, and it doesn't affect anything because there's plenty of room. Greyhawk is like that almost everywhere, which is why you can
Well, what's crazy is it's definitely a scale thing, and I wish my brain could apply this to all parts of the maps, because like the distance between, now I'm looking at Narwhal and Safeton on the Darlene map is 2 hexes.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 hexes
60
is
miles.
60 miles.
Yeah, but in like in other parts of the world, Greyhawk, Niron, Furiandi, hell, even all 2 hexes, big deal, you know.
Right.
But it's just amazing how much you can put in between in 2 hexes.
Yep.
This shows.
Yeah, some crazy guy did do that, Gary. On the other side, but I think that, and my theory is this itself and this river makes this completely like almost having like like the Rocky Mountains splitting it. It so changes that's on an island by itself over on this side, you know? Because the Wild Coast, I think, with the depth of the Sus is so deadly that I think that is a great break between all the lands. So, if that makes sense. Yeah, some great stuff here in this area. Let's finish it up with Castle Silverfreight in this area too. I think this has been conquered. Whoops, sorry. This has been conquered like dozens of times.
Yeah, is it ruined?
It depends on your time frame, but I think
like,
yeah.
The time frame, right?
Yeah, I mean.
So Anna, Castle
Yeah.
Silverfreight, I assume most of the places pre-wars, let's say, are there. Silverfreight's there, Castle Mastrine, they're all there. 576 baseline campaign, everything we're dealing with, it's just in a different state of ownership through different timeline.
Yeah, and then you have, and it depends on how hard you want Tourismach and the Orcish Empire to kind of go at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing's new.
Yeah.
There are no new constructions in the Wild Coast.
No, they
right?
mainly seems to tear them down after From the Ashes and onwards.
Yeah.
They kind of, it was kind of the trend there was to screw things up.
After Jay talks about Silverfreight, I do have a question.
But there are great fanon things that we're going to share. Something that Patrick did that's on my map, and I've used in an adventure or two. So this one says, previously home to robber baron, the castle was looted and pillaged by orcs in 584. Humanoids have usually been in control of it that's a lot, 300 to 400 orcs, gnolls, and goblins. However, a major bandit raid was made upon it by the Cockatrice Riders. So look at this. They dump fireballs on their survivors. That's really nice of them. So it's going back and forth. It looks like Safeton Militia, Harby Marines have raided it. It's just like back and forth. It is like a keep that no one can keep hold of. It's exactly what it seems like. Gary, I agree that probably that it's not part of the Sheldamore.
Oh no, exactly. It's the Sheldamore is between the Crystal Mist and the Lort Mills, so it's definitely not part of the Sheldamore. It's on the Wild Coast side of things. Yeah.
Now this one, Wyvernon, let's which is really one of my favorite writings out of the Slavers. Let's go and because it has Henry Blurred in it, and how can we not talk about him? So this is a Slavers reference, 2nd edition from our friend Sean Reynolds, and he's got a good discussion on here. There's a bunch of areas in here that are in here. It is. All right. So that's Safeton, and then here's Wyvernon, population 180, and this would be a great. I'd love to see someone do a mini campaign or a little series of adventures here. I think this would be a great place because of the setting. So less than 200 people. It's run by what I refer to with an evil dwarven, especially priest of Hexter, which is awesome. And he rules the town with Iron Hand, forbidding anyone from fleeing the village, and rides a trained wyvern. And his intense hatred for orcs knows no source. You got evil fighting evil again, which is awesome.
Yep.
5 times they've repelled, and they also have, and you can see the pictures back here. They got a group of evil gnomes helping them out, and they have all these tunnels, and they have these the pitch and peat they use to burn. It's awesome. He loves painting the walls red with orc blood. Just a wonderful, wonderful.
I love like 180 people, or is that 180 hardcore like Hextor mercenaries? Is that a garrison?
No, it says it's a tiny village with less than 200 people.
Yeah.
Total.
But I'm just saying, is it just normal village population, or is it entirely militant?
No, it's all normal.
Is it a garrison?
It's normal population.
Okay.
You look at the picture of them all looking at him like, we love you because we have to. Wayne Reynolds art.
They probably love him more than they love the orcs in the south. So that's.
Here's one for you.
Yeah. You just need to be. You don't need to be good. You just need to be less evil than the other bastards. Yeah.
Dwarf priest of Hextor. What's next? An elven priest of Hieronymus?
Yeah.
It's possible.
It was leading into 3rd edition too. So it was second. They wanted to mess things up a bit, mix them up.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I didn't realize he was dwarf until someone pointed it out years later. That it's right in here. It says dwarf right in there. Mountain dwarf right there. MD. Where's my pointer?
That seems even more improbable.
Mountain dwarf. MD. Yeah. He's dwarf, so he has to stand on something. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. So, yes. I use Crovis extensively, but that's Pomage. I don't use it in the. Yeah, I've had multiple adventures with Crovis stuff, Gary. I love it. Like I said, I love stuff that is done by the community, and I will use it. Especially, so if we come a little north of Safeton here, Anna was kind enough to put Blue Bay on the map here.
It's on the map,
and Patrick did a really nice and So, and I've used it. Let me see if I can find it. It may pop up. Here's Patrick's map of Blue Bay. It's on my wall behind. You can see it on stream sometimes behind me. So he gave me the original.
Is this published somewhere so people can find stuff on Cannon Fire or somewhere?
I don't believe so, because he hasn't have many of the locations noted, or he doesn't have.
Hopefully, he can do some cool write-ups and publish this stuff, because that will be awesome. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Sam, I actually have. Someone got one of the weapons. It wasn't the weapon, but it was so they are now the champion of Crovis. So when Crovis does come back, then he has to fight for him because of that weapon. But who knows if that'll ever happen, right? So yeah, so really nice. There's two. We did both. There's two. What do you call it? I got my brain shut. Lighthouses, and we did that adventure. I think it was almost during Christmas last year we did it. So, BB, most of them are on Cannon Fire. Can someone link the city's map list on Cannon Fire, please? That would be awesome. So this is cool, and I appreciated Patrick's works, and so we added it to the map here at Blue Bay, in between Pelgarn and Safeton. I thought it was a good place to put it. So yeah. And of course, you can always ask Patrick for the stuff. I wouldn't feel right doing it myself. All right, so that covered the swath of the middle here, up through to Mastrine and some others. Anna? What would you like to discuss?
We have the next one in that region. We have Rothkor, the green dragon.
Yes.
And Varnifane. We have those two to discuss. Those two, and you're the expert on Varnifane. And the Rothkor doesn't have much, so we can do him first, because there's not that much, but it's kind of interesting. The name is mine, and I came up with it in my campaign. But the dragon is was mentioned in the Gord books. I think he's the one that is on the cover of the second book, the Artifact of Evil. When Gord and I forgot her name, when there is in a fire chariot, up in the sky, and they flew over the gnarly. There was a green dragon that came up and followed them, so to speak, from that area. So that's why I placed him there, and then I called him Hrothgor in my campaign. So eventually I put the map. In the beginning, there was just a lot of times on my public map, that was just a dragon lair, but I named him, so I just put the name because no one else seemed to have a name of him for him. So that's where Hrothgor comes from. So yeah.
Cool. And
Yep.
there's wait a minute. I'm sorry. Is that the one seen the Gourd book, or is it the other one up here? Or across the corner?
No, not that one. That one up there is from someone else's. I thought that was an official, but it's someone else.
Okay.
For Costa Chlorine is someone, I forgot the name. I'm sorry. That someone made that one, and then I read some blog or some information, and I put them there. But you have to remember, I mapped this almost 30 years ago or 25 years ago. So I was not that. I was just collecting information for my own game, and then it stayed on the map so long that a lot of it I didn't want to remove it. So I wasn't that keen. I just, if it's useful for my game, I just put it in there. Afterwards, I became a little bit more savvy and filtered away stuff. So but I kept it. So yeah.
So of course I can't find it now. Here it is. All right.
Barney Fane. Yeah.
Barney Fane. Now we'll start. I'll do this real quick because I've done this a couple times on stream. Lying within the Walk Wilderness was a treehouse settlement of some 40 rare Greyhawk elves until recently. Pulled out of this, the humanoids went in, the bugbears, and took a whole bunch of vast collection of magical axes, no fewer than 5, each battle axe +3, bearing a dwarven rune. Their axes are +5 in the hands of dwarves. So I have down there at least a half dozen of them. I took this story of this lost dwarven caravan that got stuck here in ancient times or whenever, and turned that into an Earth Journal 32 into this article, The Legendary Axes of Varnafane. Okay, so it is in there. It tells you the entire story of the 4 that have been located, and there's still 2. And so it's a good read. It tells you some stuff in my campaign on how I took those 3 paragraphs and turned them into an entire going back to whenever this was published till now, all about these axes. And we actually have.
How many axes are there?
Thank you, Gary. 6 I have. It doesn't say in the article.
So that's 1 for each of Hextor's hands, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Screw Hieronymus.
Good one. Yeah.
And thank you, Gary, for that. So, and I have the stats on them and everything in here. Noting like here's Durginal, Bane of Underdark Dwellers. So Fergus of Clan Farquhar, that's Tim's dad's character. John has this weapon, and it tells you what it does. And this is all in 1 edition. Rules you can convert to 2nd, 3rd, 5th, whatever you're doing. So it's in there in Earth Journal 32. So give it a read with Varnafane. Just one of my. I love this, and this is why it's soapbox time. This is why I love the original Doom Grinder story so much. It's in here and it's cool, right? It's got like 2-3 paragraphs on it, and then someone just decided.
Yeah, what's the original story of the Doom Grinder? What?
Oh, we're right here. We can.
Yeah, because I don't think I've forgotten it. If I read it, but then I forgot about it since the module I've kind of overshot.
So all we gotta do is go to the Cairn Hills. It's right up here.
Okay, good.
We'll see the picture.
Curious.
No. It's coming. It's a good picture. Yes!
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So, and also, Curtis, it's near Sourload, one of your favorite names.
Yeah.
All right. Where's the start of it? Caracast, Grazigrattle. It's got to be right here. Sourload, Wavenair, the Doom Grinder. Here it is. Yes, I know you'd laugh. This extraordinary edifice towers over a small valley standing with a plateau outcrop. It's a massive wimble, some 80 foot high, made entirely of stone, including its sails. All right, and its sails move 1 degree at a time at unpredictable intervals, once every 10 to 50 years. So why, if it was a frickin' ship below, would it? You know what I mean? Would it do that? It just, God. Doom Grinder, legend has it's counting down the years into a major cataclysm as great as the evoked devastation. So there you go. Who built this colossus is entirely unknown. So that's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's
That's a
all
good
there is
one
to
because
it.
because that leaves you with a lot of room to maneuver as a DM.
Absolutely. Not create
Yeah.
a propellered cigar ship.
Yeah.
So
it's weird that they're giving a windmill a clock,
yes.
interface
They
here.
seem to be unreliable clocks if the wind is supposed to drive it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, whatever it is, what it is. But I'm doing my Doom Grinder remake. That article eventually will come out with Ed Greenwood's deity he created for us and my take remake on the Doom Grinder in both of them together in an article. Okay, so it will be coming out. So yeah, some great rumors in this area, like here. This is a great one you could start a campaign itself on. There's been a skirmish between two groups of orcs south of Castle Sulafrate. A large warband is said to have overwhelmed a raiding party of 50 or so orcs. Maybe an all-out struggle for power between orc war leaders is brewing. Just great stuff in here in this book. So hey, Grognardian, good to see you. So really some cool things in this area. So Anna, thanks for bringing those up. Mike, what do you want to talk about in the Wild Coast? We will get to Rob Kuntz's stuff, I promise. You're muted.
I hadn't said anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, Cantona is very
I was going to
interesting
say
because
it's the
that's the
next.
main
Yeah.
adversary here for, like, the Orcish Empire is not fully invested in taking the North, right? They're going after the Principality Ulic.
Mm-hmm.
So Cantona is like the front on this war, I guess.
Cantona is a great place out of the Slavers.
Yeah, and it's got
Yeah.
a real interesting backstory too.
It also has some of the coolest items in it. It's got war machines in it, which is really neat. So I think it's above this. Let's go to the Cantona. So remember, this is the Slavers reference. It's kind of hard to get because I think because of the name of it, they took it off the Drive-Through RPG, if I recall. I could be wrong, but I think I'm not. Let me know if it's because I know we had reprints on it a while back, and now I haven't seen Patrick sending me any. I don't think it's available. Here it is. This is really cool. So it has an anti-magic zone around it, which is really which is
rare.
really awesome.
Rare.
Also, there are Malenti here too. If you know what the Malenti are, there's a whole Malenti village right off the docks. So something else to deal with. And
yeah, I had
go ahead, Mike.
I had big plans for those Malenti at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all in the past.
Here's some of the things in here: ballistas, catapults, cauldrons, flamethrower. Think of Doctor No, the dragon on the island, which was just a big car with a flamethrower, right? A war wagon and wheeled mantlet forts. So they actually, because the magic doesn't work here, they got to go. I guess new old school or whatever. So technologically, yeah, pretty neat.
The Wild Coast is definitely set up for some nice mass combat.
Absolutely.
Just as much as, say, the Friandi IU's front. This is much more manageable. You could actually run these mass combat scenarios on a tabletop.
Absolutely, you could, little battles against each other, little battles against, and if one place falls, just like Castle Sulafrate, it's how many times has it fallen in the last so many years? 5, you know what I mean? Sean Reynolds does such a great job with Slavers. Yes, I had him on a little while ago, just recently, to talk about stuff. He's always more than willing to come on. I think since then he created Patreon with stuff. So, yep. Sabres had rules for ship to ship. This they did. They had rules for ship to ship combat, and which was good because you wanted to keep it basic. I agree. Great book. Good one, Mike. Runes of Cantona. I've had it a couple times. Big names from Harby have been kidnapped and taken to the outside. They don't want to bring these people inside the ruins, but outside the ruins, like up here they will. There's a secret hideout, and it's in the anti-magic zone. That drives the player characters crazy.
And
What's
looking at the map here now?
Mhm.
Safeton and Cantona are only like
20 miles?
24, yeah,
Yeah.
20,
something
24 miles
20-ish
apart.
miles. Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty good state of conflict there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can ride between them in one day if you do it quickly. Yep. If you ride all day.
No,
Yep.
now that I'm looking at these maps again, I in my head always imagined Safeton was up closer to Hardby because it's the safe town, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so safe.
Agreed. Oh, very cool. I'm raiding into you guys tonight there, so don't worry about it. If you guys are on, I'm raiding into you.
Awesome.
Yeah, raiding into Guild Superior, definitely. I can't shout
Yep.
you out, man, because my shouts aren't working.
Say hi to DM Dave.
Yeah,
Dave,
exactly. Say hi to Dave.
Saturday morning, first time he ever played in my campaign.
Oh,
He played
very
that
cool.
Ranger, and he played in the group Nuclear Meat. So, yes, the new group, the nerdy, has, yeah, that's what they want to call themselves. They're on the guild. They're on the Altamira Guildhall listing next to last. Got to start somewhere. Chad, yeah, Chad will be there too. So, great spots.
Now we have one more we need that you have on the map there. So continue to zoom in.
To
zoom in. Zoom in.
Cars?
No, just south of it. There's a
Enhance.
little island.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, yes. Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where it is. So that's just one of Carlos's adventures.
And the coolest thing was that he ran that adventure for me and Mike, you were in that one too, weren't you? We were a bunch of people at GaryCon and we played.
Marquesa?
Was that the all?
It was the Marquesa adventure. Maybe you were not in that one. No, I don't think you were in that one.
I don't seem to recall that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I played an adventure with a bunch of we were some awesome players and we played in Carlos ran that special for us, and he said, "Oh, it was a little island and in the Woolly Bay and off the Wild Coast." Great. And I immediately took up my tablet and looked at the map and it's like, "There's a little island," and I point, "Is it that island?" And he was like, "What? Did you have it there?" And I was like, "Yes, it was there." So that was more a point. So that was such a cool coincidence because I had the island on the map before Carlos wrote that adventure. That island happened to be generated by some fluke fractal thing back in the late 90s when I did this area, and I just kept it. And then Carlos wrote an adventure, and I don't think he looked at the map that carefully. He just needed a little island, and now we have it. And Carlos named it and put an awesome adventure with the Marquesa on it. So yep.
Sorry, I'm busting stones. You will do what Josh tells you. Sorry, that was me being an ass. All right, so
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't. Was it Marquesa? Thy name is evil. Was it that one?
Marquesa die. Marquesa die. I think it was that one, but I might be only because there's like, what is it, like 4 adventures with Marquesa in them?
3 more beyond that, and then there's oh no.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure exactly which one of them it was, but
I'm going to have a problem here dropping stuff everywhere. Hold on.
Yep. But it's one you should get the whole series from Castle Entertainment though. So yeah.
Yes, I'm looking for the. All right, so he has the one with Slippery Keta, Sly Keta. It's probably downstairs because I was prepping it. We're going to run out of Hardby, which is the post one after that. I don't see it in my pile right here. I thought it was here. It may not be here. I got stuff everywhere. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. It's probably downstairs. So.
But you can ping Carlos and ask him which one, if you're interested in that particular one. That I think it's Marquesa die. I think it is that one, but I might be wrong. But I think it rings a little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm getting Carlos's stuff. They're all fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It may be behind me there too.
Website's down.
What's that?
His website is down.
It's been down a couple days actually.
Yeah, need to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah, something happened to it.
Yep.
So,
and then we have the city of Fax, or the town of Fax, which I don't know much about Fax. from lore because
I
I think
can't
it's one
find
of
any.
these. Exactly, I think it's one of the. But the heraldry is a little bit interesting when it comes to
It's on the
facts.
main cover, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and it's also Gary himself used heraldry for as his logo, and part of his logo was the heraldry of facts.
Mhm.
And the heraldry of facts comes from the Greyhawk box set. That's where facts comes from. So yeah, it has the yeah, it's part of from the yeah.
Yep.
So and also I can mention that the heraldry of Cantona is one of the ones that I took from that painting. It's not, I just associated
Oh,
with
okay.
Cantona. It's not officially
Is this
associated with Cantona.
Facts Knight then
It's like a Wild
is he
Coast.
defending Facts?
Yeah, I
This
don't know
castle,
why.
or
It's
is he
yeah.
going after Castle Mastrang
He might have
or
stolen the
Sulafrate
banner of
or
someone or something. You
this could
never
be
know either.
Sulafrate for all we know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. You never know. And so he might have stolen a banner or whatever. It's a weird combination, but I just I took them from there just because of the it was kind of fun. So yeah.
So yeah, Bad Wall is talked about a lot in the Gord novels.
Yeah, exactly. Bad Wall has a little bit more to come. And the Bad Wall heraldry didn't have an official heraldry. I just
What's
made
Gord
that one
doing
up.
in Badwall?
They were there before they went in looking for the lost ruins of the
the
soul,
lost
right?
ruins, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that place is gored before the 576 and when they were deserted and stuff, they were actually kind of functioning back then. And the heraldry of Bad Wall is my creation. It hasn't, I just felt it needed heraldry, so I just created it. So yeah.
Okay. So Facts and Bad Wall probably have the least amount on them out of all the towns.
Yeah, Elred doesn't have that much either. I think it's
Slavers
questionable. That's true. Yeah,
has
that's
a lot.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out Elred has a lot.
Okay, good.
It does.
Good.
I
Yep.
have a whole page on Elred.
Yeah, so
Okay, whole page. That's a bit.
let's go
It's
to Elred.
ridiculous. It's
Yep.
ridiculous.
Is Elred? Is there a Port Elred or is Elred by the coast?
It's both.
Well,
it's both.
Because that's one of the things that seems to be contradicted information, whether there is a port city or port town and Elred is inland, or if Elred is actually
there's
by
an
the.
Elred in Fate of Vistus, okay,
Yeah.
which I think this comes first, and this is not a port. It's just a boring ass circular town, but it has a ton of stuff in it.
Yeah, but the city design from Fate of Vistus is not good.
No. So then Slavers comes along, and they make it a port.
Okay, good.
Rightly so.
I think it's important.
And at first, when I was reading it, I'm thinking, well, this has nothing to do with Fate of Vistus, Elred. And then, sure enough, I found a couple references that tied the two together.
Celtic. Yeah,
the design was not the same, but there are points of interest that are.
It's weird though, because the map in Slavers is worse than the map in Fate of Vistus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, but they only focus on the pier area, the downtown.
That's it.
Part.
Yeah,
and they purposefully say, "Oh, the rest of the towns are off the map." You know, we're not focusing on that. So you can, I guess, incorporate them together.
Yeah,
you can smush the two maps together.
Yeah, it's
That's probably why I tried to forget about the whole thing. Yeah,
but there's some great characters within Elred. All right.
For sure.
These. Hold on. These three. I love these characters. All three of them. So there's Davis the Reaver. This guy here, and he's on the cover of the Slavers book.
Current ruler,
the current ruler and one of the heads of the slavers in this area.
Yeah.
Pyera, who's a priestess of the Earth Dragon, and then Rourke the Taskmaster, who's a Myrmidon-style fighter with a spear. He's neutral, and he trains all the children, all the disaffected and orphan children.
He used to be, from Elred, and I guess decided to better to, join them than to beat them.
Absolutely, why not? Especially if you're the best at what you do. So, pretty interesting. Once again, I just am so sad that none of this original artwork exists still.
Yeah.
From all this Wayne Reynolds stuff, it's just so awesome, looking. So yeah, that was.
So Elred, I keep saying I never ran a Wild Coast campaign, and I keep finding areas that I did use. So Elrid, yeah, I used the hell out of Elrid apparently.
Good, good.
And one of the things that strikes me is in the Fate of Vistas, which I guess the Fate of Vistas you can call that like pre-wars, and then the Davis the Reaver led one is after the 584 invasion by Turishmak.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite part of this is how Elrid is 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
The town is 1,000 years old, and it says that it was founded by a wolf nomad named Urok. And then
Or
on the
even
front,
wolf
yeah,
nomad's 1,000 years old.
I guess so. And then it says on the front gate is a word in Baklunish that means fate. So I mean, just right off the bat, you haven't even got in the
But
city
do
yet
all
to get all
these
this lore.
rumors actually have to be true, or can you just dedicate?
I
I
think-
would like to say that it's just a rumor, and
I don't know.
someone made up the. Not everything that is mentioned like that needs to be true, but yeah. But
This one's pretty classy. I mean, the Wild
Yeah.
Coast is supposed to be a place where people from all over
yeah,
kind of,
it's cool. Yep. Mhm.
collect.
It's a good story, whether it's
And-
true or not.
Yeah,
it's-
and 1,000 years, that puts it 300 or so years before migration. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that does kind of throw something into question.
But it's there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
No, I'm just
it's
curious.
just one player
what
character,
Yeah.
one NPC, wandering
Mhm.
about,
Yeah.
So
So the other
So-
thing that struck me about the Fate of Vistas Elrid that didn't pan out in Slavers is that Elrid has no city watch. It's a town of mercenaries.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it goes into extreme detail about how the place is ruled by, it has a city force. It's like a paid defense, and everyone, it's like a Wild West. If a fight breaks out, you just settle it, and everyone's real polite and about settling disputes, and there's everyone's armed, so everyone's at peace, and they talk about how it has the highest percentage of leveled NPCs in the Flannis, which is a huge boast for Fate of Vistas.
And still, Tourist Mike just
And
managed
Tourist
to
Mike
run
just
over it.
smashes them anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I'm reading that, I'm thinking, well, shoot,
Yeah.
so much for that.
Maybe they joined him.
Yeah.
Rather, he didn't have to conquer it. They joined
But
him. Yeah.
before Davis the Reaver, so here's one of my comparisons. Davis the Reaver is what's his level?
10th to 12th.
10th to 12th. So the previous ruler, Aleph Beta Vistas, is Ajax. No, I got that wrong. Brago Hammerfist. Brago Hammerfist is a 15th level fighter. So I don't know how they took Brago down. Maybe.
It says Tarshmak invaded from the sea.
Oh, well,
with
that I
help of
could
the
see.
Slavers. I mean, that's what it says in the Slavers book.
Yeah. I'm just saying this Brago, he would have been hard to take down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of high level characters running around the Wild Coast.
Yep. Lots of yellow sails, exactly. And another cool thing about Davis is he's got two named unique items. He's got the Saber of Storms. I think he's got a Dagger of Parrying. They're both really cool. And they're in the Slaver. There's a lot of really unique items, weapons in the Slavers reference. It's really a good book. So I like it. Yeah, so that's a base for the Fallow Field. All right, so here's Fallow Field, and then there's this guy Braxham up here, real quick. So I'll show you pictures because I have them both. Braxham I've used, so he's probably currently dead in mine. So that is him with his undead Drider next to him. Yeah, he's a necromancer. He's with an army of undead roaming about that area. Yes, just adding to his army of undead. A very lovely individual there. So that's him. The first time I ever saw an undead Drider, I thought that was cool. Poor dark elf. You got turned into a Drider and you got turned into undead afterwards. Double whammy there. And then Fallow Field is the base currently of this adventuring group, which I thought was really cool. That picture has every single member of the adventuring group in it. So this is Fina Finkella here. She is a priestess of Kelanen. And this dwarf right here is a Tanisov. He's a priest of Merland. And they've allied with their whole group of adventurers to fight against the evil coming through, and overtaking the area in Elred and all. And they're based out of Fallowfield. So that's the group. Just like I said, some unbelievable artwork done by Sean Reynolds on it. So.
Oh, Wayne Reynolds.
Wayne, I'm sorry. Wayne Reynolds, written by Sean Reynolds.
Yep.
Sean Reynolds wrote it. Wayne Reynolds did the artwork, and now it's all gone, unfortunately. Yep. Look, she even has her Iron Stone above her head in this that she has, which is cool. Yeah, neat stuff.
Good detail.
Yeah. So, I think that's as far south as we should go to avoid Highport for the time being. But let's talk about this, because this is right here. Anna put this in.
Yeah.
If you want to come across this guy.
Oh, he looks cool.
This is the ruins of Noldare. It is in an early dungeon. I think Dungeon 10. Abandoned and forgotten ruins never are. I just ran this a couple months ago. I kind of reran it with a spin, and now I remember. So there are. So he's a Camion here, but he had some allies that were. Now it's coming back to me, Anna. That were. Oh my God, the things that can change shape into anyone. Oh my God, I'm getting old. They could turn into any person. Doppelgangers, thanks, Zachariah. 2 doppelgangers fled from the group, and they went up and they took over that inn where the allies were, and they were the ones causing all the problems. That was what happened. Okay, so they actually left the ruins of Noldare and went up, and that adventure went into another one. Thank you. Yeah. Whew, my gosh. Valid retcon. So yeah, that's right there. So that is in dungeon. It's like from level 7 to 10. So really cool. This was carried into the LGG where Fred had a very minor reading. Okay. So thank you. Man, my brain shut off. I'm getting old, Anna.
Yeah,
holy
jeez. Yep.
So it's cool when something that was published by someone is actually in the SUS.
Yep.
Too far south, but another day, another time. In Temple of the Rethel. Let's head back north.
Oh, we forgot something up here?
We got a ton of stuff up here we didn't talk about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go up there. Yep.
Tons of stuff we didn't talk about. Well, it depends on how far north you want to go.
Well, as long as we stay reasonably within the bounds, I think we're good.
Yeah. So, past. I think it was. Okay. So we're also going to talk about Rob Kuntz's stuff a little bit. So if you come into this area, not deep, but if you come in this area of the southern Gnarly, north of Narwell, there's a lot going on. Particular, I just did an adventure in Tricaster. This is mine. Five Oaks is a settlement here with a bunch of humans, but this area here of Blackthorn is, and this is in one of the older publications. You come up here and we go to the City of Greyhawk box set, which is surprising where it is, but it's in this. And the City of Greyhawk box set in the, I think it's in Gem of the Flannis, right? No, it's in the second book. Folks, Feuds, and Factions, I believe it is. I always forget where stuff is, and then I am like, where the hell is it? Top. Wait a minute, see. Oh, no, it's in the event. Takes all kind. It's in the other one. My bad. Hey, long shot. Good to see you. There it is. I just went by it. This is a really cool place. It's like if you want a monster generator that's never going to run out, this is it, right? So Blackthorn. Where's the beginning of this? Blackthorn. is the closely guarded secret of Gnarlwood, the lair of orcs and ogres concealed not far from the very edge of the forest itself. It is underground and a process of expansion and development. Unlike most sites, however, the labor of Blackthorn is invisible to the outside world. There is no messy collection of refuse, no steady stream of workers coming and going. So, any orcs, ogres, and gnolls encountered in this portion of Gnarly have emerged from the tunnel entrance of Blackthorn. So you have an entire cavern area here. The depths are unknown, so you could have it connected to the Underdark if you want, right? And this fountain is a healing fountain, if I recall correctly. It's a magical fountain of some sort that they have. So they guard it with their lives. So it's a great area, and a lot of raiding that I have in this area of, if you come up here into the Gnarly, all this area, Five Oaks Tricaster, of course, Forest Green Bastion, Mine, and Lockwell's Manor, all of them are all being raided by as they come out of Blackthorn. So it's a neat thing, smack dab in the middle of an area which you would think here, because the Archery Grove isn't that far away either. You would think that this was a safe place, but it's not. So, yes. Uh-oh. You guys are talking weird stuff in there. Gary, you already got it. Thank you, but you already got a VIP badge. So, yep, that's cool though. Anyone use anything from Blackthorn?
No, I haven't used them yet, so to speak. But
it's a cool place.
Yeah,
I've tinkered with it.
Yeah, and it's it was cool because when I first got this City of Greyhawk box set, like Village of Five Oaks is in here, all the Eastern Gnarly is in here, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, they sprawled out. Like, here's Greyhawk, they sprawled out and did all of this area and discussed all of it. So and this way too, and then the Mist Marsh, the southern Cairn Hills, up here, Grossick Rival, they talk about all this. So you have the whole layout all around Greyhawk for a couple 100 miles each direction is all in that book. So you're like, oh my gosh, I can expand, I can do adventures from the city that go outside the city. And I thought it was one of the reasons why I love it so much, the publication. Oh, see, Blackthorn's a cool place there, Sam. So if you tie that, so while we're here, if you tie this into the genius of one Rob Kuntz.
Yeah, now we need to look at his stuff a bit.
This is, yeah, it's a great idea to detail the whole region. I said, although, which is cool. I mean, I've incorporated both, right? I have mine, and then I've incorporated this. So the Narwhal Headhunters now are fighting a lot of what's going on here. Evil grows in the Fang Forest. Now I know that Rob has placed that a little, these forests south a little bit in this area. If I recall, right here, it's either here or here, I think, right? That he means to have those forests. I just said, look at all this open space all throughout. Once again, Mike, look at it. It's open. There's nothing here. So I have all of the evil Dark Druids in that area, which I think tie into some of the other things like Bad Deep and all that's going on in this area. So that's where I've used it. So it's a great book. Done many adventures already with this Dark Druids, and I haven't even done the adventure itself in here. I've used the appendices more than the adventure. I haven't run the adventure, which is cool. So, and you got all these appendices showing, the dark. It's all Tharisden, right? The Dark God's Tharisden, which is really neat. Really some great stuff with all these. There's our little mini adventure in there, Claws in the Dark. Dark, all the versions of Dark Druids. You like this trash, like all the great magic items in here, right? Monsters, like I love these Misbegotten. I've used them already multiple times. The Misbegotten. I had an adventure called the Misbegotten. Here's Anthraxis, right? The Oina demons in here, and then you got yes. That's what I think of. Oh God, what are they called? Oh man, it's a monster. Brain off. Yeah.
I'm not.
I
Yeah.
got nothing.
Yeah. No, not skin. Wendigo. Thank you, Chantel. Boom. It's Wendigo.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. I
Yeah.
never heard of that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Chantel. Wendigo. My
Yeah.
God. And then you have your Dark Druid variant class here. Yep, Wendigo. So, and all the different cults and sects and multi-eyed monsters that they're corrupting. It's just freaking great. Your two different sect of spellcasters, a whole bunch of new spells from him, and that all can be placed wherever you want. You can all have to do it here. You can do it anywhere you want in the world of Greyhawk. But hey, Brungale, I suggest that's where I did it. I know he has these forests that are not on the map here that are here in these areas. So it's all good. And I think if we go, excuse me, and if we go to his other publication, which is right, Return of Rubbler.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think there are maps in here.
Yep.
I don't know what
There's
page
some
it's on,
Wild
so I gotta
Coast
flow
map.
through. I don't know where they probably in the very end, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
The map was kind of unfortunately not that. I think the map was in better quality from the beginning, but
Grateful Mistwood. There we go. Here it is.
there it is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has I think he has the Dark Druids in this area here, right? If I recall. Here's the Gnarlwood. It's gnarly forest, right? He's made some changes here. Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of different names here. But yeah, I think he's talking about this forest right here is where he's put them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah, thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So, and note, this kind of meets the Wild Coast, but it's not the same. But that doesn't mean you can't use it. You can't utilize it. Yeah. Really a fun area. The new canon. When did Greyhawk reset?
And you have Farks. Is that instead of it's fax with an R inserted into it and stuff?
Yeah, I mean once
Safton
again
is Jepton, I think. So yep.
That's right. Everyone wants to play old school again. That's it. Hey, play whatever edition you want.
Narwhal, Woodwall, maybe. Yeah.
Yes, but we do have this, and I don't know if I'm going to find it here. So I say that why once again does in the Gord books Gary Gygax calls Narwhal Warwell, and I think it's because of this. I know it's not a great copy, but look, that looks more. Is that an N or a W? On that, right? On the Darlene map. Is that a W or an N? Hard to tell.
In Norwell?
Yeah. See the hooks there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's the hexes. You have to see it's the hexes.
Those little outcroppings here and here, that and that look
no, like... that's true. So it might be a Warwell instead of Narwhal.
Right, yep. Exactly. And Gary in the Gore books calls it Warwell. Not Narwhal in the Gord books.
Oh, then we need. Oh, I should definitely rename it. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Yep.
Well.
Norwell has been so established, but Warwell is kind of.
He couldn't read his own map. That's exactly it. It says Narwhal in there.
The index says it's Narwhal.
Right, but the point I'm trying to make, Mike, is he puts Warwell down in the book because he looks at this map. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I can believe that.
Yeah.
He misread his own map.
That's something for these Gorgonardian experts.
Exactly.
I put it in map notes and
just an interesting observation. That's all.
Oh, that's kind of cool. And if there's otherwise we have to kind of create a Warwell as well as a Norwell or something. Yeah.
I'm just noting it for a little quirk that I came across when I
Yeah.
was reading the books.
That
It's
is
called
fantastic.
Warwell in the books. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Post wars, when tourist market is raging across the country, maybe it should be Warwell all of a sudden. The locals
possibly,
could just
but
rename it.
the Gore
Yeah.
books are well before the war start, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some years before. Yeah, I think they're before 76 even, or they're about that. That someone wrote a good essay and figured out when, and Jason Savoda had some theories on that. I forgot what year he came up with, but there are some.
We should figure out who is responsible, Gary, for putting Applebee's in Greyhawk and find them and
that's Living
execute them.
Greyhawk. Yeah, we have to. It's Living Greyhawk. I think I've removed all the references now, but it was on my map for a while, but then I've removed it. Hopefully on everything. It was one of these things that returned, so it was cursed. I had a file recovery, then it was back again.
Yeah. Lots of fun things, and that's one of the ones you had to remove. So,
oh yeah, I've
Prosthesis,
removed it many times, and now I think I'm finally done with it. Yeah,
exactly, Charles. All I'm saying is Gary's writing his novel. He doesn't go to the glossography. He has Darlene's map out. That's what I'm trying to say, because they're wandering all throughout here, Bad Wall or whatever, and they go by, and it's look it up. I swear it says Warwell in the book. So that's exactly what happened. Just telling you, he saw that and he goes, "Oh, that's he wasn't paying, he wasn't thinking." Just that's my little theory on that.
oh, but it's kind of cool. Now I think I want to use Warwell in my campaign. Yeah, it's kind of.
And that's before he left TSR.
And then I can have a Norse well or Nair well or something like that too. Yeah.
Right.
Just take a look. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, it's Narwell on the heraldry page in the box set. So there we have another one. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know my theory on this, Gary? You said, "What is it, blue?" I'm going to tell you my theory, and you're gonna think I'm all way off on this. I'll relate it to me when I was a kid. We all know. Last week I have my characters Poo Poo and Kaka running around on Saturday morning, right? Because I'm 14-year-old. I'm a dumb child, right? I'll bet you this was named Blue Ball. You want to bet? That's the name of the place. It was Blue Ball, and they go, "You can't have that," and they just cut the ball off. I'll bet you $100 that was the name of the place.
Wow.
That's my guess. All right, I'm putting it out there now that they was named something stupid like that, and they go, "We can't have this."
That's interesting. Yep.
Yep. I'll bet you. That is my thought on it. Because I have all sorts of dumb things when I was a kid. I kept in my campaign. So. yeah, because there's a town called Blue Ball in PA. Yep.
I call it Blueport, Gary.
Blueport would have been better. That's just a theory. It could be, way off.
I don't mind blue. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, blue's, yeah. So, all right. Some other areas. We didn't.
Okay, back to the map.
Yeah. Did we Zandrelda's Tower? We didn't do that. We didn't do Oak Vein. We can do that. There's some good places here. So let's go back to From the Ashes. And any other places you guys want to talk about, please?
No, this is good.
All right, okay.
Yeah. We keep an eye on the chat too. Yeah.
So there's a place on this map here.
Yep.
Like I said, I have trouble opening it up. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
So down here by Hardby, on the other side of the bay, is a castle. The road just stops at this castle.
Yeah.
What
is it called?
Let me switch.
It has no label.
Let me switch you to a larger pic. Show that again,
Is
Mike.
that Sevant's Towers or Bright Tower Keep?
Let me see. That's
right
that. All right. So that's Bright Tower Keep.
Bright Tower.
Yeah, that's in Slavers. There it is. Here it is.
Yeah,
so
because I named it on
what's
my
the
map.
story?
Oh, I did it again. Holy shit.
Well, Tim needs his tongues cut out.
So I'm gonna let go. Third time's a charm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thanks for the lick.
There you go. You got your fill of Tim.
deprogram that from your.
I should.
Exactly.
I
If you,
should.
yeah,
Your deck.
and then you just start it manually. If you need to. Yeah.
So Bright Tower Keep is in the Slavers reference. Why it's blank there? I guess maybe they hadn't gotten
Yeah.
to it, or it's just
I don't think Slavers wasn't written when they published From the
right.
Ashes.
But my guess is that they were going to. It could be they forgot an
But
oversight.
Slavers is way later. It's
Way
Well, this
later.
is where, like, I originally was
10 years
asking if
later
there
or
was
something.
anything new. Was this something under construction?
Might be, yeah.
It's possible.
But that's one of the problems we have is that a lot of things are introduced later than should have been
Looking for Bright
around
Tower.
earlier, so to speak. Like Alhasta was a Isohawk
Because it's just kind of interesting that the trail ends that castle with no name.
But that's
There it
just
is.
someone
Tower
was lazy and didn't do more. So yeah.
So there it is.
And that's on the Wild Coast.
Yep.
The right side of the bay.
Yeah, and so Bright Tower Keep is militia.
And later
location.
the road is named North Bay Road in the later, but
It's
that
actually-
might be a living Greyhawk
It's
stuff.
actually got a decent inside map to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So From the Ashes, Sergeant, it's possible.
Rex Fellis, yeah, exactly.
I
Shouldn't that
added
keep
that
going?
south. Yeah, I added
Yeah.
it south because I thought it was kind of obvious that it should go to Safety.
Yeah.
That's why I took it as a new construction, because
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah.
It should go to Karnak and then down to Safety.
Yeah.
So Sandy Shores is mine. Blue Bay is Patrick's. Karnak is published. Pelgarn's published. Safeton's published. Cantona's published. All the way down. Yeah. Yep. It could have been something like that. It could have been one of those. Yeah, this is going to be developed, but no one did anything, so we're just going to leave it on there.
Yep.
And then we can ask Sean next time we have him on. Hey, Sean, what? It's a good...
Remember what about that
No,
road?
I have no. I don't remember. I don't remember.
He will think we are too anal about stuff in Greyhawk. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the road may not be that great of condition, right? It may not be that.
That's why I made it a tertiary road.
Oh yeah, it is tertiary.
Yep.
It's all tertiary, so it's probably a dirt road.
Yep.
That's best. All right, we missed Zulern and we missed Oakvein.
Karnak. Now, did we talk about Karnak?
We did not talk about Karnak. We can do all three of those. So let's start with Karnak.
Pelgarin, Karnak, and Zulish, and Flandish is another one we have there that is detailed in From the Ashes.
From the Ashes.
Yeah. And Dormal's Bend, I think, is from there too. Yep.
There's Pelgarn. Okay. So, Karnak and Pelgarn, both of them are right here. I bite, Flandish, they're all here. Where's the heck? Karnak is a small fishing village with 490 people. Oh yeah, it's definitely a whole bunch of D-cut references there. I agree 100%. So Peltander, look at this. I love this. They must have a genetics breeding program. Have history of producing extraordinarily powerful men. Strength is 70. Females have a minimum of 16 strength. That's awesome. They're enthusiastic supporters of Greyhawk, and this village supplies Harby marine vessels with free fish, bread, and beer.
Best kept secret in Greyhawk, apparently.
Yes.
Name your character
from there, and then you could.
And
yep.
Just give them a 17.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't. That's pretty amazing having a minimum of 17. Yeah. And then you have Pelgarn just south of there. This is along the coast from Safeton. Pelgarn is a 900 strong den of thieves, black-hearted villains, and scum and villainy. Pelgarn remains very independent. Greyhawk has given up hope of gaining its alliance. So they're raiders, right? So they have a robber baron, Curious Zeltrin, priest of some evil deity. It doesn't say which one. So yeah, there you go. Another one.
Oh yes, mysterious places.
Yep.
Escarel and Pelgard.
And
Yep.
then we got iBite too, which
Hmm.
is we missed that too, which is a cool place too. And iBite's right here.
Yep.
iBite's another crazy person, if I recall correctly.
I remember so, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so long that I've read some of this.
Shiner is his name. Wizard who shuns all contact, ignoring others in the vicinity.
Yeah. Hmm.
The
And some of the
tower
crazy
just
heads.
can blind you. It just all of a sudden goes golden,
Hmm.
golden light. So iBite houses a force of human cavalry. So the castle seems to be entirely self-sufficient. Nenshin of Narwhal, whose
Magic
org Nenshin's
food.
brother is known to be very desirous of contacting
To me,
Shiner.
it's kind of weird. Some of these, they say they don't want to talk to anybody, but they have 400 cavalry soldiers, and to me, it seems like, come
400?
on. Oh, what was it?
40.
40.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the principle still stands, meaning they don't want to talk to anybody, but they have a, a sizable force of people that they still talk to. So, but I guess it's like billionaires today. They don't talk to normal people, but they talk to
Yeah.
their own retinue. So yeah,
It's funny.
yeah.
Very cool, Sam, that you added onto those. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool. See, it's fun to expand on these places because they're just,
Mhm.
and that's why I love the genius of this. Look, iBite two paragraphs.
Yep.
Pelgron, 2 paragraphs. That's it.
You can do something fun. Maybe
Yeah.
he's a crazy Foltus guy or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. Here's another one that's just north, and this one is actually closer to Narwhal. Zulern is right here,
Mhm.
right? And that one is also. So you got all these little communities. Yeah, writing with Creighton's an honor, man. That's fantastic. Zulern's a village of 315 folk, run by members of guilds, senior Baxter, Tanner, Stonemason, anyone else they feel like co-opting. Zulern's an unusual community. Most of its folk are neutrally aligned, hardworking, decent people who deeply resent the raids from bandits, notably Pelgarn. There are elves here, high elves here too, which is
Okay.
cool. Yep. A fighter wizard and a priestess of Erovan Elisir. So it's under the Greyhawk militia. I have it. The Greyhawk militia does not want to be here in my game, and they which means they're lax, right? This is kind of like sending the Brits over to the New World. They just don't want to be there, right? They'd rather be home. Yeah, So they're not the best of troops, and so they tend to be lax, and they tend to raids can happen, and that's what I did. What I had happen in TriCaster last 2 weeks on Thursdays, and a lot of them died. So, yep. So some really awesome stuff. So some ideas. So Mike, what do you think? What would be a cool from all the stuff we discussed? What do you think would be something that you could really expand on that you'd love to do, or you were thinking of doing at one point?
And
What's that?
I like all the stuff going on in that buffer zone. I think all the little Mastrines and Cockatrice Riders
Yes.
and Wyvernins, like
I fucking did it.
I want more of that. I would throw my PCs into that fire. Give them their own. Give them Castle Sulafrate, or
With neighbors like Mistrain and
make
others.
them neighbors,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Mastrine's only got this like little area, and everyone's got their
Yep.
own little area. Just let them set up nearby and just have this interaction with all these different neighbors.
Yep.
Some are enemies, some are friends. Every place seems to have their own.
That could be some interesting
politics.
high level adventures there too, because you have like dragons, you have orc armies, and Greyhawk various from there. You have
If you put your characters too
Deathstalker.
far north, then they're beholden to the city of Greyhawk. If you put them too far south, then you assume they're overrun by Tershma.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you got to put them in the middle.
Yep. And you have to navigate that, all the local squabbles and all of that. So yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So I love the idea, and kind of have done that out of Narwhal, even though down here would be really crazy, right? To do it. I would love someone to even if it was a 3 to 5 series of sessions of Wyvernin, right? My gosh, with that crazy Hextor dwarf priest telling you guys, telling everyone what to do, and having a defense of the, when it's being attacked by. I don't know. That'd be cool. Um, I may one day throw in a low level, and just have some fun with it. So, yeah. How about you, Anna? What do you think?
I have a future campaign idea that that the that it will be that Greyhawk and Celine will start having secret negotiations about dividing up to first of all to get rid of Turushmak and well with the Ulex and to cooperate on dividing up the Wild Coast. So the plan is to lure up for Greyhawk force to attack south from Safeton and to start taking Cantona and that northern part to lure the Turismak forces that far north, and then the elves will attack around Fax and Badwall and cut them off in the south. And then they will size them up and obliterate them. And then the Greyhawk will get the northern part, and Celine will take the southern part between Fax and down towards Elred. So they get a port city there. And that way they can take a double whammy, give a double whammy on Turismak forces. And the thing is that can they lure Turismak that far north with a sizable force that they can kind of lure him out, so to speak, and to do it, because the elves want to make sure that there's enough orcs going north or humanoids, because otherwise they have to take the whole blunt against them afterwards, and they don't really want that. So they want to divide up the enemies and so on. So it depends on if Turismak will walk into that trap or not, so to speak.
Well, Anna, this seems like a good time then to repost one of my old blog posts.
Oh,
the Palmar Celine War.
Nice.
Oh,
awesome.
Which I did broad strokes. I
Mhm.
did, conquer the entire Wild Coast, like every other part of the map. But yeah, there was a lot going on there.
Nice.
Yep.
What year was this roughly? 2000? Before, a little before?
When did I write that article, or when did I play
When did you
it?
run this?
Oh,
20 years ago was my guess.
Whenever Slavers came out, because
So
a lot of that
99,
information
99,
probably was
2000.
off of
Yeah.
Slavers. Yeah.
Yep. 99,
It's
2000.
second edition era, so definitely 90s.
Yep. Awesome. That is cool. 100%, man. Love it.
Yep.
I just 1 second here. I just turned off all my channels I got on here. All right. So yeah, Mike, that's for me it's been different. It's always been just as far as just so awful and so brambled and so swamped that only the humanoids will call it home, and they just come through and they raid into Celine all the time, right? That's what I have. They do it over and over and over because the elves don't go into here. It's like the worst areas of Mirkwood, where they stay out of, and just so that's I have it a little bit in reverse, but it's never. That's part of why the Altamir and the Order of Ulick and of ally with Celine. So it's a little spin differently. That voice is very sus. That's funny. That is good. All right, so let's go to the quickie argument here while we have time. No. Oh, I hit it again. Because it's backwards, and I can't. If I switch it back, I might crash the stream. So it's scene 14. Scene 13 is this change. So I stopped myself. Sorry for panicking there. High port. Wild Coast or not?
I think it's the southern end of Wild Coast, so to speak. Oh, you say no? I'm saying
not.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying it's just too far down the coast that it eventually the Wild Coast peters out, and that's why like Sam compromises and says it's halfway.
Yeah.
But it just peters after Elred. It peters out.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the history of the origins of Highport, because if the origins are tied into, meaning, do Highport have the same kind of similar backstory to the other cities along the coast? Then I want to include it. If it's a completely different story, then I don't want to. And I haven't read enough that made up
willing
my
to
mind
bet
yet.
Highport is got a little more structure to it. It's not
Okay.
a wild place.
Oh, I thought that was the wildest of places. At least now.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the past,
But I thought,
probably not.
is it a Kiowish construction? Did they, Highport, did they construct it during their heyday? When
At
they
one
had...
time,
Dwarves.
I'm just taking a guess, but
Sam
I
says
would say
yes.
Highport at one time might have been more important than Hardly.
Okay, yeah. So Sam agrees with me that
Okay.
that it was a
Yeah.
Kiowish. Yeah, I mean, I
It's
kind
the
of feel that,
high port. You
yeah.
know, it's important. It was the most
Yeah.
important port on that entire bay,
Yeah.
and it fell into disrepair.
Yeah.
But they would probably want nothing to do with the rest of the Wild Coast. Those are all bandits and pirates.
Oh, the principality. So Jay, you were right. It might have been the dwarfs or principality of Ulick that built it, while
Or a combination
they were
of
part
dwarves
of
and humans. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, when they were part of the Kiowish Empire. So yeah.
So here's my thought on it. It was part of the Wild Coast when Darlene's map came out. Since Slavers and all the other stuff that has come out, and Turshmak and all that, it's become part of the Pomarsh. I think that's the way to look at it. I mean, you can have it either way. We adventured here well before. We thought it was a cool place. It was in the A series of Slavers, and there was a lot of humanoids there, but there was still a bunch of human population here at that time. It was just a den of thieves for the most part. So that's why we've had Lord Page is there. He's like Mastrine. No one messes with a 16th level Cavalier, right? You mess with him, you're gonna have trouble. So his estate's right outside Highport, and so that's the way I look at it. Old school, back in the original days, it's part of Wild Coast. Now you probably can consider it now part of the Pomar. So yeah, yep, exactly. So, plus, I think Anna's map is a little different than Darlene's a little bit, right? Just a hair.
It's very different because
Yeah.
I was struggling to master the fractals and stuff, and Darlene's doesn't have that much detail, so you just have to fill it in. That's
right. And the Sus doesn't come right up to the sea to the Woolly Bay here. It probably does, but it's set in each.
Yeah, you simply realize Darlene's map is made up of 30 mile hexes, and that's the resolution, I think. So within 30 miles, you can't. It's not more detailed than that on the Darlene map. So.
Right. Exactly. Left to interpretation, it could go either way, right? You could have it there or not. He had the road running along there, but as you can see,
I have it a mile or two from the coast, mostly on my map. Yep.
Think about this once again. Let's stress this. When this map first comes out on the Wild Coast, 1, 2, 3, 4. Count Highport. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 towns. 6, and there's nothing else. That's it.
Well, there's the paragraph or two in the book. Well, the folio. I meant when the box set came out, there was at least a little.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. It's like 4 paragraphs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a crossover. It's like a connector, Sam. Yeah. Yep. It got a Skilliaft. Yep. Exactly. When all the humanoids came out. True. So, there plenty of room to advance your grouping in here. You're venturing. Like I said, that's where this Wild Coast is. I've been using it since I was.
Speaking of that, Sam, the Living Guard Gazetteer. A sad part about this is there is no entry for Wild Coast. Like you said, to read about the southern Wild Coast, you have to read the Palmar's entry, and then the northern Wild Coast is what part of Greyhawk?
Yeah.
So wait, she's saying Gary messed up.
But hang on a second. In the 83 box set, the entry of Wild Coast, there is seen some legendary natives of the Wild Coast include persons such as Mordenkainen, Robilar, and Tenser, to name but a few.
We know about Robilar from Robot Kuntz.
Yeah, but that state that Mordenkainen is from the Wild
Coast. Is that from
Coast
the 83 or 80?
83, yeah, and so is Tenser.
Let me take a look here. I think that is why another reason in this 81. I think that's another reason why we thought it was so cool. The Wild Coast. Oh, well, if these big names come from there, we should too. VW Wild Coast. It says the same thing. It says the area gives rise to many outstanding clerics, fighters, magic users, and thieves. Legendary natives include Mordenkainen, Robbler, and Tenser. It says that in the 81 as well. So
same text. Yep.
It also says in here about the lost city of the Soul, or in here, tales relate that somewhere within the Sus there's a lost city, from which the Jewel River gained its name. It's never been found, and the legend is highly doubtful.
Yeah, but that's the one, the story that Gary used for the Gord books.
Yep. The free, it's a region of free cities, towns, kind of like the Bandit Kingdoms before the Iusian invasion, right? Same thing.
Yep.
Just with a little different
spin
on
it's not a political region, it's a geographical one, rather. Yep.
I can't shout you guys out, guys. I have to manually do it because my my shout outs are bjorked. Thank you so very much. Hope you had a great stream.
Yeah, Gary, in my here's another post. My Free Wars Flannis 576 map.
Thank you.
I have the Wild Coast broke up into.
What's that, Michael?
My pre-wars Flannis map, I have broke up into the major city areas. I mean, it could have been broke down way more. Not now that I'm looking at this from the Ashes box. You could definitely break the Wild Coast down even further, but this would be the minimum 6, I guess you mentioned.
Wow. 6 areas?
Yeah.
That's interesting. We're talking Wild Coast for all of you who have just joined us. There's a giveaway going, exclamation point drawing. Please feel free to sign in here, and get in on that. We're going to definitely be giving away one of Will's Raven's Rook books. Just got some more back in from Will, so we're going to give one of those away, definitely, and have some fun with that. So, yep.
That's cool, Rick, Spellis. I'm glad you're getting a lot of use out of that.
Yeah. It's some great lore. So, let's see what time we got. All right, look at that. We're pretty close. Just note, there is so much here in publications, and the 3 that I suggest are the most vital is number 1, let's go back to the oldest, and that is getting a copy of, and you can get this in Drive-Thru RPG, the City Greyhawk box set. Blackthorn and all the Eastern Gnarly is in this book. All right, that gives you discusses the Plain of Greyhawk, and it goes into the Gnarly Forest. The second, of course, is the From the Ashes box set. Books, and that goes into the most detail in this area of all of these wonderful places, and there's a ton of them that is described. Blackthorn's even described a little bit in here too, but now we're in much detail as the for Greyhawk box set. That's number 2. 3 is Sean Reynolds' Slavers reference book, which goes up and down the coast on both sides of Harby and the Woolly Bay. Talks about everything, a lot of detail on more added on to all these locations. Talks about Elrid and the slave lord operations. So if you're going to do a slavers talk, this is a great one. Those are the 3 ones. Yo, Malden, what's up? Oh, you did send me something else, Malden? So, you did. Oh, wow, that's cool.
You have to risk crashing the stream here.
Shoot. Stream risk crash as Malden's coming on. Yes, so hold on. I'm going to pull it off Discord, save it, and then pull it up. Oh my god, that sounds bad. Pull it up, pull it out. No, hold on 1 second. All right, I'll risk it, and if it crashes, just sit tight, everyone. Open in browser, save as. Malden Gnarly map. It's a GIF. I don't think it'll show on stream. You and your GIFs. We'll find out.
Can't use any file format that is invented after 1990.
Yes.
That wouldn't work. Yep.
I don't know if it's going to show. You need to JPEG him.
JPEG, PMD, or WebP is the formats of.
Oh, it did. All right,
century.
there we go. All right, so this is Malden's.
Yeah.
This is Malden's.
Awesome.
This is Malden's version of the gnarly and the Wild Coast that he's using in his campaign. As you can see,
I love that you tilted some paper and just taped them together and yep.
Yes, I'm gonna go blind anyway. There, Chris. You know, I just so while Dennis is on too, a week from Sunday, finally. On the 7th of January, the 25th anniversary
of that's
the
great.
25th anniversary of Malden's website. You know, actually we're on your 26th there, but Dennis will be on at that point a week from Sunday at 7 p.m.
Fantastic. Yep.
Looking forward to it. Now this is cool, dude. Some detail there on the maps and all. You know, waterways. You know, running the length, as you can see. The gnarly goes right into the Welkwood, which goes right into the Sus, all together. Yep. And that is Dennis for you at his finest. The detail is awesome. So, yep, you missed it, Obsidian. You missed the W in there. So make sure you get that in because all my shout outs are screwed royally tonight because of technical difficulties like usual. So I can't do it. I can only manually do the shout outs. So. It's a survey, yeah. So thank you, Alden, for doing that. And as I said, we're going to see you soon, very, very soon on that. So summarize our discussion tonight, Anna, please.
I think it's a target-rich region full of a really well-balanced lore, meaning it's there to give you a lot of hints, a lot of kind of possible plot leads, and invites you to adventure without overwhelming you with stuff. So I think it's really cool, and it's also, I think, probably apart from the city itself and the Temple of Elemental Evil, it's really an ancient key part of the setting that has really old Greyhawk lore. So it's really home turf for the Greyhawk campaign.
Yeah.
And so that way it's legendary, I would say, in the Greyhawk adventure. So if you want to adventure in old Greyhawkian campaign territory, then Wild Coast. I definitely want to come back to the Wild Coast for sure. Yep. But I think I want to approach it from the Elven side next time. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Mike, how about you?
Well, I found another post where I think I used the Wild Coast, but I didn't really consider this the Wild Coast because it's actually the Sus Forest. But I did a hex crawl for a short while for the Lost City of the Sewell.
Oh, nice.
So there's my take on it. But it's more a post about how to do a hex crawl, I think.
That's a great map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like hand-drawn maps. Yeah, I got that floating around somewhere. I didn't take a very good picture of it though. So sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
But it was like we were doing, hex by hex, searching that map.
Random monster encounters and stuff in there in each
hex. A lot of it was a completely beer and pretzels game that we probably did over one night.
Yeah,
it's always a blast. Those are the
culminated in an encounter with a black dragon, I think.
Nice. There's nothing better than having those as random encounters.
A one shot with a dragon fight at the end. That sounds awesome. Yep.
Anyhow, yeah, Wild Coast fun topic. I liked it. Definitely could go over this area more often.
Mhm.
And see more people with Rob Kuntz material, especially. See more people doing adventures
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
I just if it's Les or Patrick or Rob Kuntz's, if it's good, I will immediately try to incorporate it in. Just always have loved the stories and the small, a little blurb. These plot hooks, as I guess Carl Sargent put in there. All those 2 paragraphs on something, just run with it from there, and it's
Mhm.
incorporating your campaign permanently. You know, that's why I thought it was so cool. What's up, Kurt? Yeah, we're doing well, man. Thank you. I hope you had a real good stream. I caught like the first bit of it, and it's pretty cool, man. The way you're doing up there in Blackmore, all cool. Really, really nice.
Blackmore.
Yep. All right, let's do some shout outs here, Mike. What's going on? Got a game tomorrow night?
Well, no, I have a, but I do have a Christmas get together with a lot of old high school chums.
Nice.
So
Get
the
Brandy
holiday
out, will
stuff.
you? She seems to be having trouble.
Yeah, she's sick. I
Ugh.
actually no, I will see her tomorrow. I'll tell you more about it later. But
Yeah, cool,
no,
man.
everything's good here. Nothing else going on.
Yeah, and you're wishing your Colts win the last 2.
Yes, football.
That's
Go Colts.
awesome. Anna, what's going on?
I just posted a big my year in review and my look at next year, a bit about my plans and stuff. So I'm going to post a link. You can read it both on my Patreon and on my website.
Awesome.
So yeah, so there's a couple of highlights. One thing that I never talked about until I posted it here is I'm going to start once the first I got the stuff into GIS. Once I've entered all the data, I'm going to do a sources project where I track down the background of all of these and post links to them to build kind of big, because people keep pestering me constantly like, oh, where do you find data about this and where can I read about that and stuff, because there's a lot of that hasn't made it to the Greyhawk wiki and stuff. So I need to sit down and simply do a few every day for a year or so until I gotten through them all, because I built a fairly extensive digital library so I can search for most terms and see where I come up with them. And I also can solicit help from all you guys that know way more than I do about Greyhawk. So together we can probably find where these things come from, or don't find anything, and then I'll simply have to claim and say I was the one that put it on the map if I can't find anything else about it. So that is a project that I think it's needed and long overdue, and so that is coming, and that was the it's one of the benefits of putting it into GIS, because then I build a database of the stuff, so to speak. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there too. Unfortunately, there's some negatives too, because I needed to kind of write that off and get that out of my head so I can move forward. And it's been a year of contradiction, so to speak. And yeah, and otherwise there will be a mapping live stream on Friday again, and things will start moving forward. So yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm.
I have one more stream in 2023.
Yep.
That will be on Thursday, and it's a hybrid group. Okay, so adventure number 1027, a master of ... So I say a master of what, then it gives away what it's all about. But I'll tell you this. So Darling, Little Bird, and Coco are all playing along with 3 of my regulars. So I got 6 character party. So here's the story. I'll tell you the sneak peek. A Knight of Ulick. Yes, she's a dark elf. A
Oh,
dark elf, and she's a Knight of Ulick class named Nienna Otar. It's played by Walt. She's it's from a dragon magazine. She worships the goddess Aralith the Therinal, who's the drow hunter. So she's a dark elf who
yeah.
hates her own kind and hunts her own kind. Is going into Altamira to find a group of adventurers to travel back into the Lort Mills. And Anna, you were on this adventure. If you remember the 2 dark elf towers that were exposed during the earthquake, it was called the Eyes Have It. Luke
Yeah.
actually played in that adventure. If you remember, Luke and he found Captain Fulray's gear.
Yeah.
There's a drow. They believe it's a drow wizard is causing problems in the area, and whether he's come up from the Underdark or he's come through the Low Road is unknown. But he's harassing the dwarves, and she is going to send a group out there to get him.
Yeah.
And that is a nice one shot on Thursday night. It's called
Cool.
Master of, and I'm not telling you what it's a master. He's a master of, but yes. So we have So that is Thursday. That'll end the year on. I can't, like I said, I can't shout this out as we're going here. See you, Meldon. I'll see you soon. On next Tuesday, we're gonna probably have Legends and Lore Wednesday and Gabbin Tuesday, because I have to do this. I do it every year. The year in review 2023 will be next Tuesday. I can't have it Sunday. I can't have it Monday, right? I just can't. So, it'll be a 2023 year in review for Gabbin. Will be number 280. Will be next Tuesday. We'll talk about everything that's happened in 2023. So our 1000th episode, the great fundraiser, Gary Con last year, all that. We'll talk about all that coming up. And what's in store for 2024. So that'll be on Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll probably have Legends of Lore, Thursday a game. And then a week from Sunday, we already discussed the Malden 25th anniversary for his website, Gabbin, on January 7th. And that's as far out as I am, because I really got to get started on prepping the fundraiser. Because that's only a month out from the new year. So I got to get moving on that. So if you're a streamer and you're going to be involved, I will be reaching out to you. So that's what we got. All right. Let's do the giveaway here. That'll work through the system. Let me see who the winner is tonight. Fun times, great discussion. Well, thank you for coming on a Tuesday. If you win and you do not have Raven's Rook, I highly suggest you get it. It is awesome.
Yeah.
If you've already have it, if you win, I got a whole pile of stuff here. Okay. So let's see who the winner is. Oops, don't you hate that when you touch something and everything goes bonkers? Closing it out. Tonight's winner. 491 Phantom. I'm assuming you are on. 491 Phantom. Do you have Raven's Rook? If you don't have it, let me know. He's got it. Yeah, you have it? Okay. All right. So I got other stuff here. 491 Phantom, and just note we will give out other stuff. I got Border Watch, Feed Folio, Showcanth, Treasures, Scarlet Brotherhood, Shattered Statue. I mean, my gosh. Bone Hill, U1, U2. Reach out to me and we'll get it worked out. And we're going to raid into Guild Superior, where Dave's group is playing a Greyhawk game. And
awesome.
we'll see you all Thursday night. 7:30 start. It'll be the last stream of the year, and then we'll start all over again in 2024 So, Mike, Anna, thanks.
Happy Need Fest.
Yes.
Happy Need Fest, everyone.
Happy Jay has got to manually press the right button. Who won? 491 Phantom won, Baker. Good to see everyone here. I hope you all had a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a good Happy New Year. But we'll see you all in 2 nights for a really fun game. This is high level, by the way. So we're looking at 7th, 8th, 9th level characters. And it's going to be rough because, that's what I always say that, right? They all survive.
Thank you, Scottish Jeff.
Somebody say I'm not a mean enough DM, so I guess I got to get mean. Let's go in with like over 70 in there and get them almost to 100. That would be awesome. All right. Oh, look at that. 70. Boom. 71. Awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Thursday night. Have a good one. Oh, that's a nice amount.
Yeah, 72.